values in business are crucial. Values are how we decide. Values are how we execute our strategy after we set our intentions. In a way, values are our strategy. And it's essential that as you think about your values, you realize that everything you do, everything you say, everything you act, how you analyze situations around you, how you feel inside your business and outside your business depends on your values. In fact, outside your business, your clients, your partners, your market, your recruits, your investors also decide if they want to work with you, buy from you, invest in your venture based on their value. Last week, I was on a sales call and I asked somebody why they wanted to work with me. And this person said, well, I decided to reach out because I really like the values that you stand for. I aspire to shape my own business with the same values that you practice and that you fuel and nourish every day. Specifically, I said, well, thank you so much. But specifically, what do you mean by this? And this person said, well, when you sell, I don't feel pressure. You let me decide. I have agency. You let me pick what seems right for me based on the options that you put in front of me. And if I feel like if it's not the right fit or not the right time, I get to decide if I want to continue to work with you. And so therefore, I really like how you sell. And these are the values that I want to use also in the way I sell as an expert. So here is an example of how a client, now a client of mine, she was a potential client at the time, but then she became a client, decided whether she was aligning with my values. Your clients will either consciously or unconsciously see if they align with your values. That's how they decide if they want to work with you. Your values form what I call a moral compass. A moral compass is the set of values, principles, beliefs that guide your individual and collective decisions and actions in hopefully an ethical and moral way. It's how you decide to become more intentional. That's what your moral compass does for you. It's your internal personal guidance system, if you will. It's something that you acquire through your experiences, through your conversations, through the practice of different disciplines. And it's really the layer between your work and your practices in the strategic narrative canvas, which is my model for helping businesses become more intentional by developing a strategic narrative. The benefits of your moral compass are numerous. There are many, many of them, but it really means that a person is guided by a set of moral principles that they believe in, so that they will act in accordance to what guides them. Really, it's what makes them, again, make better decisions that are consistent with some core principles. So what's in it for you and what's in it for everyone working and building a business with a better moral compass? Well, things are more easy in general because you don't spend so much time, effort processing a lot of information. You follow what feels right for you. And you probably heard yourself say or hear other people say in a meeting, hey, that feels right. That seems like it aligns with how we roll around here, our culture. Culture is built with values. And so when you hear those words, that's when you know that someone is using their moral compass to make decisions and to build a better business. But also equally, when things are not so easy, when things are really kind of tense or difficult, where it feels more like going at war in business because the budget is tight or the market is very competitive, or it's hard to recruit the people that you want. It's hard to do things. Your moral values are here to offer possibilities, to your moral compass is here to show you the way through difficult circumstances and difficult situations. I remember many years ago, I was working in a company that faced tremendous challenges, tremendous financial and people challenges, and really human challenges that were really, really difficult. And I decided to really rely on my core principles and really what made most sense for me. And what made most sense for me was the relationship that I had built with people. And so I pulled out of certain situations because I wanted to preserve the relationship with the people that I really cared about, really that I really wanted to experience more moments with. So my value then was relationship versus business at all cost. And that's how I made, now looking back, I think the right decisions in navigating those tough times through the principle and really the priority I set on the relationship that I was building and I had built with people. So from there, I'd like to share with you the values of an intentional business, and I want to start sharing this. I've been thinking about the values of an intentional business for a while now, and I want to do this because I hope that this video will inspire you to embrace some of those values, but also that this video will inspire you to really explore and research and define and notice what your values are, or notice what your values should be. Notice that I say notice because many people think that having values in a business is about a writing exercise. Oh, let's write about our values, or let's put on paper what our values are. And you probably saw this in many corporations. Our core values, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there are 5 or 10 of them. And these are set, right? These are set value. They are aspiring values. In fact, like we aspire to those values. But here with this video, I hope this video inspires you to notice what your values are. Because if you go from my definition of values are how you decide, how you roll, how you work in your business. Well, you should be able to see yourself and see your values and really notice how you grow your business, how you sell, how you help, how you communicate, where your priorities are. So values are noticed, not just written, right? Observe them, listen, watch, sense, feel them around you. That's how you detect what your values are and what your values should be. So think about this moral compass and think about the center of the compass. At the center of the compass is the concept of intentionality, right? That's what I want to talk about, is how do we build more intentional businesses? Intentionality is the relationship between our consciousness, conscience en français, our consciousness, our conscious, I guess, and our actions, right? So again, it's the relationship between our conscious and our actions. Intentionality is about wanting something very specific deliberately. It's having a goal or the desire to do something with affection, something that we really love, that we really care about, something that really matters to us. It also translates as an offer to be voluntary, to be present, and to take the initiative to do something very specific. That's what it means to be intentional. The opposite of intentional also helps us understand this concept. When you say, well, it was an accident, it was involuntary, it was random, it was unplanned. That's the opposite of being intentional. And I see many businesses being built around luck, and that's great, but also some accidents. And I started offering things on accident sometimes. They're very, very serendipitous. It was awesome. I got really, really lucky. But the thing that I wanted to do after was, okay, take a step back, go a little higher, and look at and reflect on what was my intention behind these accidents. So I wanted to take to take something that was accidental to something that was intentional, in fact. So intentionality, I expressed it in terms of positive, right? It can be good. It can be good if you come to your intentions with love, with generosity, with care, with empathy. But intentionality can also be evil, right? And when you come, when your intentions are mixed with things like greed or pride, well, it lends to manipulation. It's not positive to me. So, but it depends on your values again, right? Being voluntary is an act of freedom, and you're free to decide whether you want to play the good side or the evil side. I leave it up to you. Being voluntary is also understood as a ministry. It's being in service of other people. It's being there, present, to accomplish something that is good for them. And that's crucial when it comes to building professional services firms. We sometimes skip the service part. We very often go from professional to business. Oh, in professional, I'm a professional, I'm an expert, I'm an advisor, I'm a consultant. I am very skilled, I'm knowledge, but I forget that this is all about me. But what is the service that I want to bring to people? What is my ministry? What is my ministry as a service and a professional services provider? All right, with that said, let me try to sketch out the MetaHelm values of an intentional business. I want to start with co-creation. And in a recent video, I've talked about the difference that I make between collaboration and competition. And I have talked about the fact that I read my language of the word competitors, right? I believe that there is enough wealth, there is enough possibilities, there's enough work, in fact, to consider your peers as colleagues and not competitors. The competition mindset brings fear, brings tension that are unnecessary and kill creativity. You can watch and read more about this topic, but that I explored recently. But in essence, a co-creation is the art of working together to inspire others, to come up with something new. It's uplifting. It should be light. It should be something that adds value to whatever you're building around you, inside, etc. So the first value is co-creation. The second value of an intentional business is authenticity, and also authenticity in the context of purpose. So authenticity, because when you have the possibility to be intentional with your business, you can be true to what is it that you're trying to build. You can align your purpose with what you're able to deliver, what the world needs, and what people are able to pay for and wanting to pay for, right? That's how you create marketing, by aligning those four pieces together: your purpose with your skills, with what the world needs, and the market. What is the market ready to bear? What prices are they willing to pay for your services? So you get there when you bring authenticity with intentionality. So the second value here is authenticity. And I have explored this. I actually come from a background that is professional background that is not so authentic at times. And I did this research in my journey. I decided that my intention was to be more authentic in what I do and speak from the heart. Show up as who I am. I'm here. I'm Guillaume. I'm the principal of MetaHelm. I'm a French guy, and I believe that things should be done a certain way and not other ways. I have a perspective on the work that I provide and how building a strategic narrative what the process should be. And I do this in a way that is as true as possible. That's how you build and design and grow a business that is intentional. The third value here is meaning. Meaning because when you to build an intentional business, you have to be able to dig deeper. You can't stay at the surface. So many people contact me and want to work on the surface level of their business. They just want to make it look good. They want it to just sound good. Create this compelling layer around it that hides the truth inside it. That's not how you build an intentional business. An intentional business is built from a place of authenticity, like I said before, and therefore you have to dig deeper to go look for the true meaning of what you're doing. Very often time I notice that the meaning of what you're doing is just right there. It's just right in front of you, or it just happened. But it's hard to see because you're inside the jar of the business. You're inside the business. So for you, it might be difficult. I get it. It might be difficult to see how you come across outside. And so therefore, it might be difficult to convey meaning outside. But if you pay attention, if you explore what happened in the past, because you have amnesia and you forgot what was the initial intentional meaning of your business. If you do a little bit of work here, you will very easily tap into the true meaning of your business, of your service offerings, of the value that you bring to your clients, and you will increase the authenticity and the intentionality of your business. All right, the next value that I want to bring up here is prototyping or learning. They go hand in hand in this context together. Obviously, building an intentional business requires you to test. I mean, obviously, it's not so obvious necessarily, but for me, it is obvious. Maybe for you, it's not. So anyways, building an intentional business is about trial and errors. It's about experimenting. It's about testing things. It's about exploring what feels like it belongs to you and what doesn't. Because if you come at your business with a place, as we said earlier, of intentionality, it means that you've thought through your goals. You've very carefully premeditated what is it that you want to achieve, the impact you want to have on your community, for instance, the kind of business, the kind of experience that you want to provide to people, right? Who knows from the get-go what it is going to feel like, look like, smell like, sound like? Well, you can make guesses. You can hire experts who can help you predict and plan. But at some point, you have to test. You have to try, and there will be errors. And you have to learn from those errors and course correct. That's the virtuous cycle of prototyping. You may at first decide that you want to try what's called a minimally viable product, an MVP, right? And I recommend to do this everywhere in your business. The value of prototyping is very strong at MetaHelm. It's very deep. And in fact, you can see it here in this paper airplane. A paper airplane is a prototype. It's just a piece of paper, low technology, that you quickly fold and that you launch and you try and that you can correct very quickly until you figure out what the right balance is, what the right size is going to be, if you should fold the wings or change the nose or everything. Anything that we do at MetaHelm is, in the grand scheme of things, is a prototype. There is never a final version, because a final version means that we have arrived. That's it. It's the end. So therefore, it will be dead. And it could happen for some things that we want to throw away, right? So that we have more energy and more capacity to prototype new things. Prototyping and learning is a core value if you want to build an intentional business. So That's about it for now. Oh, one more. I was kind of glancing at my notes here in front of you. One more. Focus. Focus. That's a core principle here. That's a core value for an intentional business, because you must have a clear vision if you want to be intentional about your business. You must invest in how your business is going to stand out for who you serve and what you ought to create. And without focus, you will get lost in the details. You will change your mind all the time. People won't really understand why is it that you do what you do. You'll be chasing one thing after the other, and you will be first of all, you're going to disperse your energy. You're going to come across as somebody who wants to capture every opportunity but ends up capturing no opportunity. Focus is easier said than done, because focus means that you are going to be able to let go of many things. Let go of things that don't align with your intention. Let go of clients who don't align with your intentions, don't align with your purpose, your values, and your mission. And so it can be a hard thing that requires courage. There is another value that I didn't necessarily plan to talk about, but maybe that's a good transition for yet another value. So, but let me finish with focus. Focus is really looking at things in the limelight and ignoring whatever else is outside you. I'm a big believer in focus. I used to be extremely scattered. I used to be all over the place, and that I was exhausted. I didn't have a direction, right? But I could feel in all areas of my life and my business that I was draining my energy. So stay focused. Concentrate on less but better, right? Concentrate on quality versus quantity, and on what feels aligned to your intentions. So I want to transition and maybe wrap up here with courage, because focus does require courage, the courage to let go of all the things that you don't want to focus on anymore. In fact, courage is one of the core values here to become more intentional in your business, as you want to step outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, it's comfortable to be all over the place. Focus requires courage, because it feels that you're taking risks. It feels like you're abandoning some of the potential things that could be good but not so good. It feels hard, and that's where you need to step in with courage. Courage to learn from your mistakes, courage to say, yes, I was wrong, and let me do that differently. I'm just going to give you one of my examples that happened today. I was doing a closing session with a coaching client who's departing from my coaching program because she's successful and she has other things to do. And I asked for feedback, right? And I had to use a little bit of my courage to ask for feedback, open, candid feedback. Her feedback was overall very, very positive. And there was one thing that required me to listen with courage, because it's something I had worked really hard to build. And it required a little bit of courage for me to hear that it wasn't quite there yet in the instruments, in the array of instruments that I had put at her disposal. And I said, I think you're right. I think on this one, I will do better next time. And that's what I want to focus on. So I had the courage to admit this, because I want to focus on this particular exercise and tool that I'd given her to her in the past, and I want to make it better for everyone. Okay, so these are the values that are core and are essential to build an intentional business. And I hope that, again, that will inspire you to embrace some of them, create your own set of values, redefine what intentionality means to you, and hopefully embark more people in your journey with this new moral compass of yours. Thank you, and I hope that this helps.